Yeah, just a cattle update. These bloody things. Oh, you can see that gate, but it's not. Well, this gate here. Well, the one behind, the lower one of the two. So, for day one of the sucklers being in, one of the cows decided to jump over that gate in with the others. I mean, normally the gates are left like that, so there's one that's a bit higher, so because I had that gate over there to try and split them up, there was only that one. I thought it was plenty high enough really, but these bloody cows are massive, so it's bent that. And then I put them back, and then this morning they come out and then they've knocked all the gates down that were on it. There was a gate on the hinges and one tied off, and knocked it all down, bent everything and mixed themselves up. So I thought, well, sod it, they can just stay together. It's not ideal because these steers, store steers, are jumping on the little calves, riding them around, which isn't doing them any good, but it's just too wet to let them out again. If we have, I mean, have to make the decision tomorrow. It might be time to let them back out. Trouble is, after tomorrow it's forecast rain again. So anyway, I thought while I've got them in, there was two that didn't have any big tags, so I've just got the crush here and managed to get. I've done the two big cows that were missing their big tags, but the one of the bulling heifer was missing a small tag, and I tried to get her in, and she's having none of it. Just flipping jumped right over the gate. It was a gate on the same hinges as this one here, this big heavy one. It was on those hinges, and I got it wedged in a corner here to try and get it in the crush, and it just went no, jumped over the top, bent the gate. So I thought, sod it, for the sake of a little tag, I'm not messing about. But yeah, these suckler cattle sometimes are just more, well, I do think they are more bloody hassle than they're worth sometimes. You only get one calf off them a year, and the rest of the time you're feeding a bloody great big cow. If they're in the shed, they're just taking up shed space, and if they're outside, they go bloody wild, and then they come in and then they don't want, you can't get them in a crush, and jumping over gates, and I don't know, I think you've got to have a lot of them, and you've got to be really committed to just devoting your time to them really. They don't want to be, suckler cows don't want to be inside all year round, and if they want to be out, you want to be really managing them, spending some time with them, checking them every day and walking through them, keeping them calm, and just keep them outside really, where they're not where they're not taking up shed space. But on not very good ground as well. You don't want to be renting top quality ground and putting suckler cattle on them. They want to be on some rough old ground that's no good for nothing else. So I don't know, some people are very good at it, I know, but I'm not one of them. I find I get a bit impatient with them. Anyway, not to worry, we've got something done anyway, so yeah. Like a charm, every time. Don't make them like they used to. Yeah, just noticed the exhaust pipe on this tractor marks fixed Dan's cock off. So yeah, it looks alright. Yeah. Don't take that pipe off. Yeah, I'm just going to see if I can wash these mats off quickly while I've got time. The company I get my chickens off have just rung up saying Well, he didn't ring up. He texted me saying they're struggling to bring them, which is to be expected because they always struggle to bring them. But they don't want to bring them late. They want to bring them a week early. Can you believe it? A week early. Never happened before, ever. So I don't think I'm going to be ready really now. I've left everything to the last minute because I didn't want to, because they're always at least a week late, so it's backfired. Well, that's bloody sod's law, isn't it? Anyway, we'll see what we can do. Got them all washed off. To take my word for it again, because I was going to set my camera up to film it, but I forgot all about it. So, but yeah, I just washed all the tubs off. Not very fun things to wash because there's no way of washing them without blasting your face, getting a face full of dirty water. So I've tried everything. There's no way. You've just got to shut your eyes and keep going, unfortunately. But turn this tap off before I forget. Well, not before. So yeah, I'm just going to have some lunch and see what's going on. If I've got time, I might wang everything back in the shed, out of the way, and then yeah, I mean it's quite a quick turnaround to get them in within like 2 days. Because normally I like to move the shed back onto the pad and I leave it to dry, make sure everything's dry, and then you know, on a day like this, on a sunny day, I just oil everything, oil all the skids, anything basically that shows any sign of rust, which I sort of by now I know because I've had them long enough. Just cake it all in black oil and just sort of a barrier cream really against the chicken muck and the ammonia. And to be fair, it seems to work. We tried painting bits, and that just seems, if anything, it seems to make stuff rust more underneath the paint. Whereas just caking everything in oil just seems to like stick, and then it soaks in almost if there's bits that are already rusty. So that's the plan anyway. I'll have some lunch and then hopefully all that'll be dry. So. Right, I'm back out. Have my lunch. Just thought I'd show you these feeders, the problems we've been having. These are a different type of feeder, these, compared to the ones we've had in the other two sheds. And at first I thought they were really good because they're on a screw system rather than the feeders in the other sheds are they've got to control the height of this bit, the bell, to determine how much feed comes into your bowl. They've just got 3 different holes with a little R-clip, and I always found that it doesn't matter what hole you put them in, the bottom hole doesn't let anything out, the next hole up lets too much out, and it really irritates me because if they let too much out, the hens just seem to if you look underneath the slats where the feeders are, the hens, there's big piles of feed. So I could just never get them quite at the right height. They were always either too low or just a bit too high. So when we got these ones, because they stopped making the other ones apparently, and they were on a screw system, I thought, well, that's great, because now you can turn these down to exactly the right, like, so every day when I'm walking through the sheds, if there's a bowl that's full of feed and there's feed underneath the slats, I just wind it down a bit, and also if there's one which has got no feed in it at all, I just open it up a bit, and eventually you get them all absolutely spot on where you want them. But we've only had these feeders for 2 or 3 years, and a load of them they've pecked. I don't know whether you can see, they've pecked because I've had the bell so tight to the dish. They've pecked keep pecking the same place to get the food come, and they've just pecked right through the plastic. I can't think now which ones are the worst ones to show you. These here, there's one. Look at that hole. I mean, that got quite. You can see where it's where they've been pecking, and some of them like that one got quite bad before I realised what was going on, because obviously it was always full of feed. So it was only the piles of feed underneath the shed that made me realise. So I rung them up and said I need some more dishes quick, because by the time I realised I had loads of them missing. Anyway, they said, right, they sent me the catalogue. They said, do you want them with these fins in, which in theory stops the hens from flicking the food out. I don't know whether they do it. They must do it with their beaks, or whether they get their feet in and flick it out. I don't know. But I said, oh yeah, I definitely want them. So we had 10 of them to try, and you can have these wound right up so that there's 10 mil of feed in the bottom of the dishes, and they don't flick any on the floor. So I can't, the amount of difference it makes is bloody great. Brilliant things. So that's the way we're going to go. As they all wear out, I'm going to replace them with these white ones with their fins on. So my job now is to just go through. I've just pulled everything out of this shed. Half of them were in use and half of them weren't, and I've got some new ones over there. So I'm going to go through now, and I think I'll put all the new ones in, and then if I haven't quite got enough, I'll pick the best of the old ones out to get this shed ready. So that's the job. Yeah, just wasn't quite happy with those nest boxes. I've just got had the washer on again and just gone over the nest box frames. I started putting them back together, and the actual plastic frames, that what's left in here now basically weren't just quite clean enough. And to be fair, I told Dan not to wash them on high pressure, because a lot of it's wood, like marine ply, sort of plyboard, and then the perches themselves are just just lengths of timber. And if you wash them, try and wash them off with the same pressure as what you wash the floor off with, it takes layers, literally it'll take layers off the plyboard. So you've just got to be careful not to do it when you're doing the floor, and come back in for a separate session really with the pressure wash on a lot lower pressure. So I've just gone over all them again and cleaned them up, so I'm going to put these put all the mats back in now and the lids back on. So that's everything back in the shed anyway. So these feeders that are outside are all knackered, and there's more that have got holes in than I thought actually. So there must have been some that were, you know, borderline leaking when the hens were, just before the hens left. So I'm gonna have to order some more really, because I've had to pick a few out that haven't quite pecked all the way through, but are very, very thin, sort of won't take very long. So yeah, everything's back under cover now anyway, so still got a few things to, obviously got all the feeders to hang back up, but that's not a big job. So main things, everything's under cover. I normally do put a bit of disinfectant in that water IBC and just whiz over everything, with like a soapy, a foamy disinfectant. I don't really know whether it does anything, but it just makes you feel good really. So if I get time I'll do that. I have to check whether I've got some left actually. I might not actually have any. Yeah, everything's just a lot slower. Tell you what, since Dan's buggered off back to work, it's everything's slowed down a fair bit around here. Even just like I've had to just carry all this stuff back in, you know, all the way around the shed in through the door. Even that, you know, if there's two people, you can pass everything in through the window and just keep things coming. And it just, like when we cleared all this out with two of us, it took no time. It's one of them jobs. There's not many jobs that you think, there's a lot of jobs that you think, oh, they'd be quicker with two people, but there's not many jobs that are more than twice as quick with two people. And when you get a job, something like that you can cut out all the walking by having two people, because the trouble is you can only throw so much through the window before you got to walk around, and you just end up damaging stuff, so it's not worth it. But if you can just keep feeding stuff in through the window, it actually makes the job more than twice as quick. So yeah, we'll have to get this dragged back up. Is one of the next jobs to do. Get it dragged back up onto the concrete and then get it oiled up. But if this weather stays like this, should be some combining going on really, but we'll see.